Hey everybody, welcome back to another week with Moose on the Games Revealed weekly news. We got quite the full schedule, so let's go ahead and jump on into it. First and foremost, we aspire to be nothing but truthful reporters of game news here, and I find it my privilege and my duty to, correct the naysayings. And last week there was a need for a redaction. Last week I said Magic the Gathering was my favorite on mobile, and what I meant to say was Arena. That's the only way I'll even play that game. Nothing's better than Commander with the boys. Commander's the best version of Magic. But for mobile, Arena works really well. I don't know if Commander would work on mobile. So now that we've got that nasty bit of business out of the way, I just want to shout out to the Lord of Tricksters, Austin, who will always tell you it's just a Planewalker. Moving into the weekly game news. Now, Metal Gear Solid Remake has been, I don't want to say confirmed, but David Hayter, the voice actor for Solid Snake, was recently in an interview, and it was like 2 hours something long, and about halfway through the interview, he at least confirmed that they are remaking Metal Gear Solid. So while no official announcement has been made, if you know Solid Snake is the one telling you the news, you can probably take it as fact. So if you're a Metal Gear fan, look out for that announcement coming up and grab a copy of that when that lands, because you know people are going to be after that Solid Snake. Next up is Gord announced. The game Gord, G-O-R-D, are you out of your gourd, Gord, has been announced from ex-Witcher developer. This one actually has me really pumped. Not that it looks like The Witcher at all. It kind of has little parts of it, and we'll jump into that. It's described by the developer, I'm assuming, as part Witcher 3, part Frostpunk, and part Darkest Dungeon. And honestly, I'm intrigued with every one of those games. Having not played Frostpunk yet, I can see where it gets the Frostpunk elements from, as you are basically building that whole village. The difference is you've got Witcher and Darkest Dungeon elements in there as well. It's based on Slavic folklore, and you're going to be juggling quite a lot of things. 3 main elements specifically is what you're going to have to handle with you and your village. It's faith, sanity, and growth. And obviously there's going to be illness, death, famine, fatigue, and all sorts of monster and creature attacks, I'm sure, included among those burdens. One of the big things it also includes is a custom scenario mode. So you can set up your own special set of circumstances for you demented, sick people that just want to live through hell and the worst versions of it. They got it for you. So check out Gord. The announcement trailer is already dropped, and it really does look super interesting. And the Darkest Dungeon side in me just yearns for some of that sanity difficultiness. So I'm definitely going to be looking out for it. Next up, and this is all part of the good, this is all good stuff, right? Super Potato. If that sounds, or even you know what that is, you should be excited for what's coming up next out of my mouth. Super Potato is now selling their games on eBay. And for those of you who don't know who Super Potato is, they are a gaming mecca in Japan. There's about 8 locations, if I remember correctly, but the main one, like the big bad boy of all of those shops, is in Akihabara, Japan. I hope I didn't just murder that on the news. Everyone's going to see it, all of my millions of viewers. Anyway, so no, they have all of those locations, and a lot of retro gamers do go to Japan to try and get some of that sweet action there, because you can really only find some of the stuff at these locations, but now they are on eBay. Go ahead and jump onto their eBay listings and just salivate over all of those retro game consoles and just unique offerings that they have only in some of these stores. It's honestly incredible. I did a brief scanning of it right before I did this news, and holy crap, there's quite a bit on there. Jump on there, and if you're expecting to order from there, just plan on $20 shipping to the US at least. I don't know about where else, but expect to pay about $20 for whatever you get. Not bad news, pretty good stuff. And one more thing I completely glazed over. It's because it's another Witcher bit of news. But The Witcher Monster Slayer is coming to mobile. And honestly, this looks really cool. It's kind of like a Pokemon Go type game because it's going to be using that augmented reality. And instead of capturing little cutie cutes, you're going to be killing and slaying monsters and foes as you walk around the world. The reveal trailer for it is out, and honestly, it looks very, very cool. I'm going to definitely download it. I did play the shiz out of Pokemon Go when it first came out, and while I haven't touched it in a while, I know what's going to take its place, at least in the short term. A couple of things to know about this, and pretty much it's kind of some time frame stuff. If you would like to register for the soft launch of this mobile game, you have until the end of April to do so. This will allow you an opportunity to be one of the early players that get to access to the game, and this is for some debugging issues, testing issues, obviously, before the hard launch. They want to make sure that it runs and functions well enough in the real world. And if there are any bugs, they want to be able to address them. So that's part of that soft launch. My brain just kind of went haywire-y. I'm sure you all saw it. So enjoy that explanation. Anyway, register before the end of April. And for any of you that are worried about not knowing the lore or having played any of the previous Witcher games or read any of the books, this takes place before the Geralt era, so you're really jumping into some new territory. You don't need to know any of that stuff previously to really enjoy this game. So if it does sound good and you really only watch the Netflix Witcher and you want to jump in on some of that, this is going to be a great way to do it. So look out for that. It is coming out on Android and iOS devices, but expect for there to be some hardware compatibility issues, especially starting out. But look for it, I'm sure, sometime later this year for the official drop. Now let's get into some of the bad news, and I will admit this first one probably should go into the good, but it started bad, and we're going to feel bad about it, and then we're going to feel good about it. So we all heard, or at least the ones that cared, that Sony was planning to shut down the PS3, the PS Vita, and the PSP stores, meaning that if you owned those devices, you could no longer digitally buy any content, get any updates, any of that jazz. Well, guess what? They realized they messed up on at least 2 out of the 3 devices. Sony has announced that they will be keeping the PS3 and the PlayStation Vita digital storefront open for the foreseeable future. The PSP store will still be shut down on July 2nd, 2021, as originally planned. They did some thinking, and by thinking, I think they got overloaded in their emails with people that own these consoles begging, screaming, and yelling at them to not shut them down. And honestly, I'm really glad that they listened to the players for whom they rely so heavily on. So it's good to keep those storefronts open. I know I still have my PlayStation 3 right there. I'm looking at it. It's still plugged into the TV, and my kids play the hell of Minecraft out of that, plus all the old games that I've collected over the years. So for the earliest one, that one is getting close to 10 years old. So I can understand the sentiment of wanting to close those storefronts, but obviously enough people still rely and use them to make it worth Sony keeping it open. So, like I said, it started bad. Oh, the hurts, the feels. And then the feels became good, and now we're back into the good. But let's continue with the bad. No PS5 restocks today. I'm sorry for anyone that needs one, myself included. No restocks happening on the storefronts. So if you were looking for that, clearly you know it by now because this is coming out tomorrow. But look out for the next weeks, and hopefully you guys can lay those clams on a PS5. Last bit of the bad news. Windows' most recent update has been causing some issues in gaming. And I'm not talking in the development of gaming. I'm talking purely in you playing the game on your computer and having performance issues. With all of the investigations that have been done on this, NVIDIA's stance basically is, if you are seeing lower performance in games, check if rolling back Windows 10 Update KB 5000842 solves the issue. So if you are having any of those issues and you're hearing this news now, give that a look into it, and possibly you're going to need to roll back your windows if you want to bring back that solid performance. Now we're going to jump into a little bit of the ugly. That was the bad, not too bad, pretty easy bad, but let's jump into some ugly because there has been a bit. Days Gone drama. If you have heard of the game Days Gone, you are a biker in a zombie horror type fashion game where obviously you're just riding to survive. Now, that being said, the drama more revolves around some of the game developers. And the news of the game of Days Gone 2. Sorry about that. Brief brain stroke. News of Days Gone 2 sequel has been spreading around, and it has been heard to have been canceled or not fulfilled, or they just didn't want to pursue a sequel for Days Gone 2. And a lot of people are upset at that because with it being one of the free games to download on PSN right now, tons of people are finding out about how great that game is, and honestly, I'm going to be one of them. I have not played that game yet, and I am very excited about it for reasons that are my own, and I'm not going to get into right now, but it has nothing to do with the game. I'm very excited to finally play it, and honestly, I may just pay full freaking price for it just to show my support. But with all of that being said, it did get canceled or non-pursued, and while one of the game developers humbly said, simply, I should say more, thank you to the fans for supporting our game, another developer had something else to say. If you wanted a sequel, you should have bought it at full fucking price. And that's a quote out of his mouth, not mine. And that developer's name is John Garvin. So if you guys have any issues with that, please find him on Twitter, I guess, and let him know your opinion. I myself will probably just play the game and really enjoy it. And, if I'm feeling spicy, maybe I'll buy it. We'll see. But I do understand the sentiment of that. If you want a sequel, buy the game, support the game. But there are other sides to that argument, right? New IP, no one knows if it's going to be good. No one wants to buy it because who knows? Lots of things go into that. And obviously everyone's going to have their own opinion. But a little bit of just nasty controversy for them. And it's definitely been bringing their name into the spotlight all week long. Next up, and oh boy, howdy. Ooh, this one's a hurtin' me in my stomach. Resident Evil 8 retail copies have leaked ahead of the release. Spoiler alert, I'm sure it's going to be everywhere. So if you do not want this to be spoiled for you, stay off of the internet, stay inside your house, better yet, lock yourself in the bathroom or the room with the worst cell phone reception and stay there until Resident Evil drops to when you can play it, obviously, and beat it, and then get back on the internet. Really shizzy though, man, out of all of the games, and obviously it's a hot one, a very hyped one, and people want to get their hands on it. It is a bummer that retail copies have leaked and already spoilers are getting dropped. So if you don't want spoilers, stay out of the news, stay out of the media and the articles, and stay out of the comment sections. Holy cow, you can't even scroll past comments in that section without getting it ruined. So stay off the internet to avoid any Resident Evil 8 spoilers, and just hold tight just a couple more weeks, guys and girls. We almost have our own copies so we can spoil it for ourselves. Last bit of news, and this is more of a side of what the shit, and it's more what the F, but I said shit to censor myself. Sony patent. This is Sony in the news again. A lot of Sony stuff going on today, but this one just kind of blew my mind, and I wanted to bring it up and see what you guys all thought. So let me know in the comments below if this is a good idea or not. There is a patent Sony is pursuing that would allow an AI to learn from your gameplay, to watch as you play and learn how you play. So when you need to take a break, or if it's becoming a struggle to beat the level, the AI can take over for you. I don't know about you, but I don't think I want an AI playing my game, even if he plays it the same way as me. There might be areas where that's beneficial for like grindy games or looty games, but for the most part, I just want to play the game myself. So while I do see that there are some benefits there, I don't know if I'm quite on the side of having an AI just take over and beat a boss for me. I want to be able to feel that success for myself. Now, I know that there are accessibility requirements for some people, and honestly, that's where I can see it being insanely beneficial to really allow a lot of people to experience these games in their own way and be able to get that little bit of assistance when they need it per that person. So I do see this being crazy beneficial, definitely in certain areas, specifically in that one. And then specifically for my buddy James or the Brink, because he sucks at video games. So anyway, that is the last bit of weekly news that I have. Please let me know what you're excited about. Honestly, I'm really excited about the Winter Monster Slayer on mobile. And Gord announced on just as a new game. It really does look interesting. Those are my two things that I'm excited about. Let me know what you're excited about in the comments, and if you want an AI experiencing them for you or not. Thanks everybody for tuning in. This is Moose with Games Revealed on the weekly news segment, and we'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend.